and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Cinema Chazzy. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It's a new name that I made up recently to substitute Chazzy's movie reviews, you know, and I think it's really catchy. It's gonna catch on pretty soon. You just wait and see. So, today's movie that I'm gonna be reviewing is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This is by far one of the most epic films I have ever seen, specifically monster films. I gotta try to specify that, you know. One of the best monster movies I've seen. I'm a pretty big fan of Godzilla, and I'm a die-hard fanatic, you know. I never really liked too much the original Japanese ones, you know. The character itself, yes, of course, but some of the movies are really cheesy, very corny, you know, very dated, the special effects. But, you know, Japan kind of, they literally own Godzilla, right? I mean, they still make Godzilla movies to this day, actually. There's even an anime trilogy on Netflix, you know, Godzilla. And the United States, Hollywood tried to start remaking it, you know, in 2014 onward. There was a disastrous 1998 movie that a lot of people hate, you know. I actually kind of liked it, but then again, when I started getting more into the deep Godzilla lore, I saw why it was so, how can I say, it was so despised, you know. It kind of makes sense. I can kind of relate to that. And anyway, so here's the thing. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, right? The sequel to the 2014 Godzilla movie, you know, it was very well done, but the first movie, it kind of didn't show us too much of the monsters fighting, you know. Kind of a technique similar that Steven Spielberg used in Jaws, probably, where you don't really show the shark, you know, too much, so when it finally shows up, the effect is bigger. But anyway, King of the Monsters completely, like, threw that out of the water, threw the concept out of the water, because they showed the monsters very frequently, you know. There was a monster in every frame, pretty much, you know. And we didn't have just Godzilla now against the Mutos like in the last movie. Now we had a whole plethora of famous beasts from Godzilla lore. You know, we had Mothra, who's always been sort of like an ally of sorts, you know, like an enemy, but at the same time somebody who shared. It was a creature that shares a kind of a symbiote relationship with Godzilla, you know. She's sacrificed herself many times throughout the series to save him, you know, to help him out. And then we have Rodan, who's one of my personal favorites, a giant flying pterodactyl who's kind of pretty much made of volcanic lava and ash. He sleeps in a volcano, then he awakens, you know, and he's just pretty much impossible to take down, you know. Then we have King Ghidorah, all known as Monster Zero, you know, one of the, I think he's Godzilla's most infamous villain, you know, he's his infamous enemy, you know, and he and Godzilla have been squaring off for, you know, many decades now, you know. There was a really old Godzilla movie back in the day, I forgot what it was called. I think it was also called King of the Monsters, I think, back in the 50s or 60s. I don't know, one of those really old Godzilla movies, you know, where he actually defeated King Ghidorah with a bunch of other monsters. But anyway, this movie is takes on a very similar concept, you know. Now we have this thing called the Orca, which is a device that is used to alter the Titan's behavior, the Kaiju's way of it's sort of like to attract them, you know, and also to I wish I could be Thanos and just like snap my fingers and make all these motorcycle douchebags disappear. We have the Orca, which is a device that can emit a frequency that's strong enough to affect the kaiju, you know, the giant monsters, you know, and they use this a lot. I think, well, one of the people who created it, you know, she is kidnapped along with her daughter, who's played by Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things fame, you know. I think it was her first movie, you know, after Stranger Things, and, you know, they get taken and forced to use the machine to awaken the kaiju. I don't know why the hell these bad guys want to awaken these things. I really have no idea why, but whatever, you know. You gotta kickstart the plot somehow, you know? Anyway, so they start waking up a bunch of kaiju and attracting them, and they destroy all of the cities around them and this and that, you know? And then, of course, we get to King Ghidorah himself, you know? He is awakened, and he looks really epic, you know? Like, he's always been kind of a pushover, in my opinion, in the other movies, and he had a really non-intimidating sound, like, damn, wasn't really, it was nice, it was cool, you know? Epic, but not exactly scary. And in this movie, the thing was insanely frightening. It was nightmare fuel, you know? A giant three-headed dragon, you know, perfect CGI, you know, really made it come to life, and to me that was just awesome.
They all respond directly to an alpha. We stop this Ghidorah, we stop them all.
Now, at a key moment during the movie, of course, Godzilla and, you know, King Ghidorah, they finally face off, you know. It's a very epic battle, a struggle, you know. But then the government, because the American government is always stupid in movies, you know. Not that they're exactly smart in real life, but they're even stupider in movies. They decide to launch this thing called an oxygen destroyer, which is basically a nuclear missile that will destroy anything within several miles radius, right? So then they launch at Godzilla and Ghidorah, but only Godzilla is affected, you know, because King Ghidorah is, I guess his molecules, particles aren't really part of this world, so he's not affected the same way Godzilla is. So Godzilla flatlines. He essentially dies, and King Ghidorah regrows back a head that was cut off by Zilla, and you know, he goes on top of the mountain and calls all monsters, you know. He proclaims himself in a very epic scene. He proclaims himself king of the monsters, you know, and all of them go to him, they bow to him, you know, and they pretty much do his bidding, you know. But the orca still affects it somehow. Towards the end of the movie, the orca emits a frequency that starts to kind of rattle Ghidorah a little bit, you know. But anyway, this is a Godzilla movie. They're obviously not going to kill off their main protagonist, so of course Godzilla is resurrected. And here's a very interesting moment, you know. He is resurrected by, I'm going to have to look this up here. I have kind of like a little cheat sheet on my phone here. I'm sorry, but I always forget this guy's name. He's Japanese. Cut me some slack here. Let's see here. Ken Watanabe. Okay, Dr. Iziro Shirezawa. You know, he sacrifices himself to save Godzilla. He detonates a nuclear bomb where Godzilla is lying, you know, as he lays dying. Because as you guys should probably know, nuclear fuel, it doesn't, like, it kills us, but it actually makes Godzilla stronger. He thrives off of nuclear energy, you know. So, he detonates the nuke, killing himself, but resurrecting Godzilla so he can go and fight King Ghidorah. Tell me that's not the most awesome thing you have ever heard. Now, slowly as the movie goes on, we see a lot of destruction around the planet, you know, because these titans, these kaiju, they are ruthless, you know. They just destroy seemingly for no reason. And these things are huge, so even if a kaiju isn't exactly aggressive, just by stomping around here and there, you know, around a city, it's definitely gonna do a lot of damage, you know. I mean, Godzilla can like if he trips and falls, he'll accidentally destroy an entire little building, an area full of buildings, you know. So, and these movies are like, it's pretty much just destruction porn, you know. It's like Transformers, you know. If Michael Bay directed the Godzilla movies, wow, did he? I'm actually curious now. Did Michael Bay direct this movie? No, it was by Michael Dougherty. Okay, because if Michael Bay directed them, oh my god. So it's pretty much destruction porn all over the place, you know. And the city of I believe it was San Francisco or San Diego. I'm pretty sure it was San Francisco in the first movie that was demolished, you know. They pretty much already finished rebuilding it, but now in this movie there's another large-scale destruction phase all over the place, you know. And I think that the movie was actually really well done, you know. Like, I like CGI. I'm not the biggest fan, you know. I still enjoy practical effects every now and again, but as long as they're not those really cheesy ones like back in the 70s and 80s, you know. But CGI done right can actually go a pretty long way, you know. It's like, and the movie had, obviously, the entire freaking movie was CGI, you know. You can't just have giant monsters, you know, and their practicality, you know. It was actually, speaking of practical effects, did you guys know a little fun fact here? It was actually dedicated, this movie was dedicated to the original Godzilla suit performer, Haru Nakajima. You know, he died in 2017, you know, and yeah, he was the one who was originally in the Godzilla suits in the old Japanese movies. I thought it was a really cool detail. Now, throughout the movie, we see a lot of conflict between the people as well, you know, but obviously this is a movie about giant monsters fighting, you know, that's what we want to see. And of course, in the end, Godzilla does emerge victorious, you know. In the end, he absorbs the nuclear energy in a way that he's kind of like reminiscent of those really old movies where he's all pumped up and red hot with the energy, you know, and he takes on King Ghidorah. It's like he's on steroids, you know. He becomes even bigger and badder and stronger, you know. And it's very, very cool, the scene at the end, because Godzilla is kind of supposed to explode, you know. It's like he's a giant nuclear bomb and he's supposed to explode. I don't remember if he does. I don't think he does. I don't think he actually blows up, you know. But at the very end, the epic battle, I kind of forgot, like, the details really, oh my god. I completely, oh, okay, so here it is. Okay, sorry guys, I'm sorry if I'm, it's because I forget. I saw the movie recently, but I've also watched a lot of other things, so Godzilla overpowers, you know, Ghidorah, he prepares to kill him, then he gets his powered state, then he defeats Ghidorah with nuclear pulses, you know, so he starts pulsating, now I remember, he starts pulsating energies of nuclear energy, and King Ghidorah kind of, like, what's the word, disintegrates little by little until he's no more, you know? Then all of the kaiju around him bow to Godzilla because they recognize him as the true king of the monsters, you know? Let's just see what it's gonna be like when Kong comes to play, you know, next year.
Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah.
Now, getting to the behind the scenes bits here, I think that the movie was very well cast. Vera Farmiga was in one of the lead roles. I really like her work in the Conjuring universe films, you know, and also Kyle Chandler, who was in, funny enough, the 2005 or 4, pretty sure it was 5, remake of King Kong. He played Bruce Baxter, you know, and then we have, of course, Millie Bobby Brown and Ken Watanabe playing this guy, and a bunch, the Japanese guy, and a bunch of other actors who I don't even know, so I'm not even gonna mention them right now. But I think that the movie was very well made. It was expertly shot. It was just perfectly crafted, you know, and it was very elegantly edited, you know, everything was perfect. The CGI, oh, sorry. I give a lot of movies crap about having too much CGI, like for example, The Meg, another movie that I reviewed a long time ago, but this one did it very nicely. I think that King of the Monsters had a very good balance of CGI and actual real world effects, you know. And I enjoyed it a lot, you know. I really thought it was nice. The soundtrack was amazing, you know. Everything seemed to fit in perfectly. It was like the perfect puzzle, you know. And I honestly think that King of the Monsters was a lot better than the original Godzilla, mostly because you see a lot more of the monsters now. You see more of them, you know, and you actually see large-scale battles, you know, between these monsters. And there's a moment where Rodan challenges Ghidorah, and you see that Ghidorah is superior. He puts Rodan in his place, you know, and it's really, really nice to see. And the destruction that these things bring. Rodan, I mean, he levels out the playing field really quickly, you know, destroying a whole military fleet, you know, it's crazy. So I thought it was really nice, you know. The movie was very, 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 very good, and I enjoyed it a lot. If I had to give it a rating, it would be a solid 10 out of 10. You know, I've been giving all my movies 10 out of 10 lately, you know, and this one was really cool. It doesn't take much for a movie to impress me, you know. I give it a solid 10 out of 10 very easily, you know. So yeah, I really like Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I saw Kong Skull Island as well some time ago. It's a much older movie, and it's like, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I really did, you know, and I think that it's going to be nice to see these two giants smashed together, you know, in the Godzilla vs. King Kong movie coming out next year. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for that. Very nice. And I think that's it, guys. Let me take a look at my timer here. I have a timer going on for every video. So yeah, just over 10 minutes, so it's going to be good for editing. So I think that's it. I think that's really all I can say about this movie. And I didn't watch it on Netflix. I had to watch it on another source, you know, but it was definitely worth it. You know, I had to go through a little bit of trouble to watch this movie, you know, and not illegally, okay, but still, it was pretty complicated. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's it. That's all I want to say about Godzilla King of the Monsters. He really is the king of the monsters, no doubt about that, you know, and I really, really think that he really deserves a review on my channel. You know, I didn't review the original one mostly because I didn't have a YouTube channel yet. So yeah, I was gonna review the Godzilla Skull Island, sorry, the Kong Skull Island movie, but because it's much older, I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to that later. But yeah, that's it. That's all I can say for now. Thanks for watching Cinema Chazzy. Tune in for the next review coming probably next week of another movie. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.
This is Godzilla's world. We just live in it.
Damn right.